Hi, I'm Shay from A Real Good Plumber, and we're over here in Greenwich Village, and I want to show you what a state-of-the-art hot water heating system installation looks like. And this is the crew from A Real Good Plumber that made it all possible. Now come on, let's go inside.
Make it happen.
This here is a Lochinvar condensing boiler, and in my opinion it's the best condensing boiler on the market today. And I want to explain a minute about what a condensing boiler is. The biggest byproduct of a boiler is water. That might sound surprising, but when the fumes go up the chimney, they have a ton of water in it, and it's very, very hot. And that results in a tremendous amount of inefficiency. And in an environment of global warming, we want to be as efficient as possible with our fuel. A Lochinvar boiler actually reclaims so much of that heat that the exhaust going up the chimney is very, very cool, and we actually get water condensing out of that exhaust, and thus it's called a condensing boiler. That water will eventually come into this white pipe, be neutralized here, so to clean up the pH, and then we take it down the drain. And this is the heart of the fuel savings on this installation. The other part of it is the domestic hot water. This is an indirect tank, and it has a coil in it. So we bring hot water over and bring it through the coil in this tank, and then bring that water back out. And that coil heats up the water that's in the tank. And an indirect tank is the most efficient way to make domestic hot water today in the environment we have. The next thing I want to point out is this green and blue piping. This is called Aquatherm piping, and it's really the future of piping in America today. It lasts forever. It's recyclable. It's a little more expensive, but basically a better job. And here's how you put it together. You have an iron like this. It's called fusion technology. And you stick the pipe in one end of the iron, and you put the coupling or fitting in the other end of the iron. You time it, and when you've reached, literally 10 seconds, you pull it out, push it in, and then that'll stay there forever. This gets heated up to 500 degrees. It's clearly not hot right now. And you avoid the 2,000 degree flames from acetylene torches and things like that. So this is really state-of-the-art piping. New York City today, we're allowed to put this on heating piping or chiller piping, but we're not allowed to put it on domestic water yet. All right, that might come later. That's why when it comes over to the indirect tank, you'll see a lot of standard copper piping, because that's what we're allowed to do. I like to have all my controls very easily accessible. I love it when they give us enough room in a boiler room to actually do things right. This is an automatic low water cutoff. This is a manual low water cutoff. You can see the two red buttons. And this is a manual high limit. You can see the red button there. This is the boiler pump that pushes the water through the boiler. Now over here we have a hydro separator, which is really the best way to control your pumping so that one pump doesn't affect another pump. So you bring the boiler side in one, and you take the distribution out the other side. This valve here will control the heating, and this valve here will control, the domestic hot water. And we always put good drains on our system. We can drain down here, we can drain our tank, and we bring it over here in Aquatherm piping all the way into a drain. All our relief valves are piped into a piece of no-hub which goes into the drain, and the pump that we use is capable of handling 200 degree water, so it will actually not melt out and have to be replaced routinely. It'll last quite a long time because of its composition. Also, whenever we do a good job here, we put an electronic mixing valve. This is a heat timer mixing valve. This control makes this control go up and down, and this sensor here monitors the temperature. This can pinpoint the temperature of the distribution in your building. So if you're having trouble controlling your domestic hot water temperature, this control here will make it all beautiful. Now the other part of a condensing boiler is that as I mentioned, the acids that condense out of the fumes would rot a standard chimney. This chimney was a clay-lined chimney. We were able to slide this metal flexible liner from the top all the way down to the bottom, and then we convert to single wall piping and go into the back of the boiler, you can see over here. Then the fresh air comes out here and goes up and back into that same clay liner. So while the exhaust goes all the way to the roof and comes out, and I'll show you a picture of that later, the fresh air just goes into the clay liner. And we have a special cap at the top so that the air is allowed in and comes down and provides combustion air for the boiler. So, you know, this is really the way to cut your fuel bills in half. These kind of boilers and controls can cut your fuel bills in half, make you more comfortable, and always have heat and hot water. Thank you until the next time.